Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Tarot with Talia. This is a love reading for the sign of Libra for this month of January 2026. Libra, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I'm pleased to read this for you. I've pulled 3 initial cards for you. The first is the Death card, second, the Emperor, and the third card is the Hanged Man. I've also pulled 1 oracle card from the Romance Angels deck that reads, very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So Libra, if you're new to my channel, and my channel is actually new, so I'm sure you are, I read the tarot cards based on what I feel my spirit guides are telling me, but also intuitively to what just comes to me based on the energy that I'm feeling throughout your reading. I'm strongly feeling that for some of you Libras, you are coming into the new year having just ended a relationship or getting out of a relationship. It could have also been a marriage. Some of you could be in a freshly new divorce. If this does not resonate with you based on an ending relationship, you could possibly be a Libra that is contemplating whether or not you want to remain in your current relationship. But let's speak more so on the Libras who have just ended a relationship. This was not an easy one for you, Libra, but I'm feeling that, and I'm hearing some of you saying, another failed relationship. What is wrong with me? What is going on? Why did it end? Not again. Like, I'm hearing this. Or even, oops, I did it again. Which I know that's definitely a Britney Spears song reference. But that's what I'm hearing from a lot of you. So I'm picking up that some of you have been in several relationships in a short amount of time. And it just hasn't fully worked out for you. With this particular one, you may have felt like it was going to, but for some reason it ended. And we're going to get into the clarifiers that I have for all 3 of these cards sitting here. But with the very soon card, these are your spirit guides saying, be clear about what it is you want in love and relationships so they can give it to you, so they can send it to you. If you feel like there's any blockages in your life, clear those out so that you're ready and you're open to receive what God possibly has for you when it comes to love and relationships. But with this Death card, it's being clarified by the 4 of Wands. So that's why I said in the beginning, some of you could be married and going through a divorce. This could be your second divorce for some of you. Others of you that are not married, this was simply a committed relationship. It could have involved children. Your significant other could have had children. You could have had children, or the 2 of you could have had children together. But it was definitely a commitment here, and it was a loving relationship. At some point in this relationship, you were happy with this person. But things just did not work out in the way that you thought they would. And the relationship ended. But the 4 of Wands is being clarified with the 7 of Pentacles. So now you're trying to figure out what the next steps are since this relationship has ended. And you're trying to see like all of the effort and energy that you put into this relationship. Well, what did you actually get out of it? You're maybe thinking about how it benefited you in the first place. You're in your head about it. With the 7 of Pentacles, this could mean that if you are going through a divorce, that it possibly worked out in your favor. And that's just saying financially, you may have received whatever it was you were asking for. Maybe if it was just a breakup and you weren't married, it was an amicable breakup. There wasn't a lot of drama involved or anything like that, but Just because it was that way, if it was that way for you, Libra, it doesn't mean that it didn't hurt any less. Clarifying the Seven of Pentacles is the High Priestess. If this was a divorce, there's a possibility that you found out in the divorce that your significant other was hiding things from you. And those things came to light through discovery during the divorce. A lot of different paperwork was possibly filed and specific answers or questions asked. And maybe you found out that your partner was holding things back from you when it came to your finances that you weren't aware of. And that could have awarded you even more than you possibly thought you were going to get from the divorce, or even what you were asking for. Clarifying the High Priestess is the King of Pentacles. You could have been dealing with a Virgo, a Taurus, or a Capricorn as your partner or spouse. This could also, again, represent someone who was financially stable that you're dealing with. It's a possibility for some of you Libras that if you are going through a breakup, that this affected your finances because you were possibly used to being in a 2-income household. And now it's just you. You've possibly had to move on, find another place. You're having to front all the bills by yourself, rent, utilities, electricity, all of those things, when you're used to splitting things or sharing those costs with your partner. With the Emperor, this could represent that you need to kind of look at this situation in a more rational manner. And you're trying to not be in your emotions about it because you don't want that to affect your day-to-day and how you move in the world, the daily decisions that you have to make when it comes to your well-being. And Libras, oftentimes you all can have difficulties showing emotion and expressing emotion. You prefer to keep it to yourself and deal with it in other ways. You may have outlets that you use, such as maybe you're a gamer, you like to play video games, or shopping, or just, spending time alone in your home or in a place that you feel comfortable. But that may not always be the healthiest thing that you would want to do if you are dealing with a breakup. You want to look at things more clearly with a clear head. And oftentimes for you, Libra, being alone causes you to be in your head too much because you're over analyzing things a bit. It probably wouldn't hurt in this situation, if you are going through a breakup, to be around your friends or family, someone that is you're close to, that you feel like you can open up to and maybe talk these things out with, that can give you some sound advice as to how you need to move forward. The Emperor is being clarified by the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles can represent a financial loss. With it clarifying the Emperor, for some of you Libras, this could represent that you could have lost your job or your form of income, however you make your income. Maybe you were working full-time but had to drop down to part-time. Maybe the Emperor was your partner and they were more financially stable than you were, and being that you're no longer with this person, that has left you with a financial loss. They could have possibly covered a majority or all of the bills for that matter. You could have been a stay-at-home mom or dad and your partner covered a majority of the bills and handled all the finances, and now that you're no longer together, this could be a whole new venture for you. And this is only if this applies to you, Libra, and you're currently going through the loss of a relationship or a marriage. Clarifying the Five of Pentacles. we have the Four of Pentacles. So this means you are being more mindful about your spending. You're trying to keep from going through another financial loss. You're holding on to whatever money or finances that you do have. You may be looking at other resources financially, because with the Four of Pentacles, it's left you in a Five of Swords. There was possibly an argument or disagreement about your finances when it came to between you and your partner. I can feel that for some of you Libras, if this is resonating with you, this person could have possibly left you with nothing. Or you will soon be rewarded with something if this is a divorce, such as alimony. Some of you, child support may even come into play. But it's not happening fast enough. You're having to figure out how to financially support yourself. And for some of you Libras, support your family if you have children. This could be for some of you a very tough situation or breakup, because your partner could possibly not be communicating with you during this time because of the breakup. And there's plenty of things that the two of you should probably be discussing. For some of you, if this is a divorce, the conversations that you need to have are not happening between the two of you. Instead, they could be happening between your attorneys. This is the Justice card. So there are legal matters involved, possible contracts. A prenup comes to mind for some of you. You're really trying to decide the best way to move forward and how you're going to really deal with this when it comes to your finances. The Justice card can also represent a sense of balance that you're not expecting right now, because it's like you're in the heat of things with this ending taking place right now. But I encourage you to stay strong through this, Libra, if this is resonating with you and you are going through a bad divorce where you feel like you don't know which way is up. You don't know when you're going to see the light. You don't know when you're going to come out on top of it. But intuitively, I feel that you definitely are. But you do have to stay strong about this. And fairness will definitely find its way to you as you're going through this, Libra. For those of you that it's just a breakup, this could represent contracts such as a lease on a car or a lease agreement to an apartment or a condo. Maybe the two of you signed a lease together, but since you've broken up, one of you has to move out, which means the other is responsible for whatever fees and rent payments that are due that you signed the lease over to. So that could definitely be an issue when it comes to the Justice card. Moving to the Hanging Man. Libra, in this situation, especially for some of you that have been dealing with this breakup for a while, you really just want it all to be over. For several of you, you just want all of this to be over, and you're trying to get a better understanding or a different perspective of the matter, because you really don't want drama that can come along with it. But you feel like possibly in this relationship, you've had a lot of self-sacrifice where maybe you were the one financially covering everything for your partner, or maybe you were the one making the big decisions instead of your partner. You feel like you gave a lot of yourself in this relationship. Clarifying the Hangman is the Eight of Wands. So this can represent communication, travel, communication as far as text message, emails, anything across social media networks, traveling long distances. This could represent what your relationship entailed before you broke up, and it could have been you that was the person doing most of this. You were probably really into this person, and you made a lot of sacrifices of, if they, for example, live long distance, you traveled to them more than they came to you, if they came to you at all. Or if you weren't living together, and I'm feeling like I'm speaking to those who are just in a relationship right now, not married. But if you weren't living together and it was a long distance relationship, you were the one buying the plane ticket or a bus ticket or train ticket to go and visit this person. You probably always welcomed them to come and visit you, but they never did. And because your feelings were so strong, you never questioned it. You always decided to go to them. Maybe financially, they needed your help or assistance, and you were always there to cover whatever expenses that they had. Maybe with the hanging man, you are asking yourself, what was it about this person that made me sacrifice so much? And why did I do this? For some of you, you're asking, why did you do it again? Because you've probably did this before in a previous relationship. One thing I can tell you, Libra, is the universe has always got your back. And when you are so clouded with your judgment sometimes, the universe has to step in and shake things up so you can see clearly. Because when you're in it oftentimes and it's not for you, you can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's why the Eight of Wands is being clarified with the Tower card. There was a shakeup that had to happen here in order for you to get out of, for some of you, what could have been a pretty bad relationship or situation or marriage for some of you. But again, it is up to you to decide what you want so that it comes to you right now. Your spirit guides, your angels, your guardian angels, God waiting for you to just reach out and say or ask for what it is that you need so that you can be blessed with it. Now, Libras, your actual symbol for your sign is a scale. And if you ever look at it, it's like an unbalanced scale, almost like the Two of Pentacles card. If you ever notice the man that's standing with pentacles, one up, one down, that's what the scale looks like. And that means that Libras, oftentimes being decisive is not your strongest trait. And all 12 signs have certain traits where it's not the best one for us. It's something that we have to work on. And decision making is one of those things that Libras have a hard time doing. You don't always fully know if the decision that you want to make is the right one. And even when you finally make a decision, sometimes you're just not sure about it. And it feels like, Libras, that's what's happening in your love life. You are choosing some of your partners possibly based on false narratives, possibly based on looks or other traits or characteristics, instead of really taking the time to truly get to know a person. And that's just for some of you. Others of you, you may get comfortable too quickly. And once you're comfortable, it's easy to just settle in and feel good about the relationship that you're in, not realizing that this person just may not be for you. But you can decide what you want in love, in relationships, so that those things can come to you. And I'm not saying you have to sit down and create a vision board or a checklist of what you want your love life to look like. But don't be so quick to just settle. And I feel like saying that some of you feel it because you may feel like that's been me. I've kind of settled along the way because I got too comfortable. It happens to many of us. Clarifying the Tower card, we have the Hermit. It could benefit you, Libra, to take some time alone by yourself in solitude and really clearly decide what it is that you want out of love. And it's okay to reflect back on past relationships and what you felt worked, what you felt didn't. It's okay during that time to compare your relationships partners and try and see like where there was a possible balance between some of them, like what you liked about one person versus what you liked about the other. Some characteristics, like really trying to figure out like what fits with you. Sometimes Libras, with some of you, opposites attract. For some of you Libras, you could have been dealing with someone who was a lot like you. For example, oftentimes earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorns, are very similar to air signs. And you may have dated several earth signs. But try and step out of the box and date someone in the opposite, such as a fire sign, an Aries, a Leo, or a Sag, because they'll be able to bring to you and close the gap of what you may lack. For example, I mentioned earlier, Libras are oftentimes indecisive. Aries, Leos, and Sagittariuses are usually very decisive, but also can sometimes be a bit impulsive. But Libras, that's where you can come in because you think before you act and make decisions. You're not as impulsive, if at all. So that's just an example of really reflecting on the type of partners that you've attracted. Clarifying the Hermit card, which I stated, you may need some time alone to really decide on what you want to do next when it comes to your love life. Do you want to be single for a while? Maybe focus on you. Do you actually want to be more open and maybe put yourself out there? Maybe you're a bit of a homebody. Maybe you are only doing online dating and that just has not worked out. So you might want to try other avenues of how to meet people. Maybe speed dating, maybe being set up on a blind date, maybe just actually getting out in the public area at a festival or a concert and just be more open to going up and talking to someone that sparks your interest. You can do all that in the energy of the Nine of Pentacles, which I'm sure you've heard from many tarot readers that could represent the singles card. But if this woman is single, she's only missing one pentacle to make a 10. She has everything else that she needs. And Libra, you are likely content by yourself and feel like you have everything you need. The only thing you're missing is that one pentacle. And it's that one person that you feel like you can share your life and your love with. That can come to you very soon. But it is up to you, Libra, to decide exactly what it is you want. Libra, thank you so much for visiting my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below to let me know that you enjoyed this reading. Maybe you didn't like this reading. Give me some ideas of what you would like to see when it comes to Libra readings, and I'll be happy to create that for you. Until next time, Libra, thank you so much for visiting my channel. Peace and blessings.